All right. So here we go. So welcome everyone to the Wait is Over Masterclass. We're going to talk about how to reset your mind, your eating, and body without dieting. Without dieting, that is the key. So I always like to start with some stats. My first shocking truth is that 45 million Americans go on a diet each year. Each year. What's even shockier is that 55 diets will be tried by the average person in their lifetime. In their lifetime, the average person has tried 55 diets. And I want you to think about that and think how many times you may have tried a diet. Think about that, how many times a year. The eye-popping truth, though, is that $33 billion are spent on weight loss products in America each year. That's your detox teas, your pills, your drinks, your shakes, all of that good stuff. 33 billion with a B dollars every year. But the eye-opening truth is that 80% of those people who successfully lose at least 10% of their body weight will gradually regain it to end up as large or even larger than they were before they went on the diet. So let that soak in for half a second. So let's talk about who I am and why you should listen to me. Why should you trust what I'm saying? I am Crystal Taylor. I'm the owner of Fitness is Not a Game. When it comes to my certifications, I am a certified personal trainer, fitness nutrition specialist, and a weight management specialist. But just to give you some more background, I am also an Army veteran who I was a 63 whiskey all-wheel mechanic in the Army. I've also been a figure competitor. I did it one time. I've considered doing it again, but hasn't happened yet. But I am also a human being, which means I understand the struggles of everyday life when it comes to living a healthier, balanced lifestyle, because I am a wife and a mother of two super duper cool fellas. That's what I like to refer to them as, my cool little dudes. Even though they're not little at all, they're 17 and 21, but they're still my babies. We know how that goes, right? So I've been fortunate enough to be featured on many platforms, to speak to, I was a preferred vendor for David's Bridal. I've done partnerships with Vegan What. I do weekly Black and Married with Kids takeovers and many more that are not here listed. And on each one that I've been interviewed for, the typical question asks, how did I get started into the fitness arena? When did I get started? What made me get started? And I always tell them my story is a little different from a lot of people in the fitness arena, because when I was growing up, I was not the most athletic. I wanted to be, but I was not. But then I realized that I was smart, so I would be involved in sports by being the scorekeeper and things like that. But I realized that I had the ability to get strong and gain muscle when I went to the Army. Going to the Army was a game changer for me because I realized I was not as unathletic as I originally thought I was, and that I could actually build some muscle. So I enjoyed it, worked on it, kept building my body. Even though the military told me I was overweight, that's another discussion. I enjoyed it a lot. But then life happened. I got married and had two babies. And this picture right here is a picture of me 9 days before having my younger son. And he was still about 2 to 3 weeks early, over 8 pounds. As you can see, we have big babies. But after having him, my body changed. And like many, many people, I did not like my body at all after I had him. And I had extra inches in places I didn't like. I jiggled in places I didn't like. And so I took it upon myself to find different ways to get involved into health and fitness. And I started, like a lot of people do, I started with a 5K, and it gradually moved on up to a 10 miler, then a marathon. But then I decided in 2014 that I wanted to push what I consider to be the ultimate challenge for me, was to enter into a figure competition. And the challenge with the figure competition initially wasn't even about how I could work my body. I knew I needed to get past the mental aspect of it to be able to get in my underwear and get on stage to be judged. But during the process of getting my body together and learning about my body to be able to lose weight, to be able to tone it, to be able to shape it, I started to fall in love with the the science of it. And I even realized that I had been intrigued when I worked out with the trainer one time after I had my son. I was just soaking it all up, but I never really thought that I could make it a career, because I was stuck in the corporate mindset. I have my MBA, I have an undergrad in marketing, and I just knew I had to work in business, in corporate America, and that's the way I should live and make a living. I didn't think that I could have my own business, and I didn't think that anyone would pay for it. But I threw it out there because by now people see that I've made all these changes in my body, and people are naturally asking me questions. How did you do it? What do you do? You should create a plan for me. And I did it. I did it for free because I thought it was cool. I thought it was dope. I would I would actually create a workout program. I would print them, I would bind them, put them in cardstock, make a cute little book, color them, and create meal plans. And my husband asked me why I was giving it away. And I said, because I love it. I just like the fact that, people want to be healthier. And he said, Crystal, you you found your passion, and you have information that other people don't have. I really think this could be a business for you. But again, I was still stuck in corporate thought. And I said, well, I don't know if this could work as a business. But then one day, one of the few clients I had at the time, this was years ago, as you see, the site even says crystaltaylor.com. This was not even wasn't even Fitness is Not a Game at the time. But I was speaking with a client, and she said to me, she said, Crystal, I went to a wedding this weekend and only wore stockings. It was nice not to need my Spanx. Team no Spanx. And that's when I knew this was it for me, because I still say that was, I don't even remember how many years ago, maybe 6 now. And I still remember having this feeling that I'm actually getting right now, just the goosebumps of feeling the pride that she felt in herself, the confidence that she felt in herself. And I said, this is it for me. But my focus has always been in not focusing on diets, because I don't believe in diets. I believe in lifestyle shifts. And the reason being is because, again, we have to come back to this 80% of people who can successfully, and that term is being used loosely right now, successfully lose at least 10% of their body weight. They're going to gradually regain it to end up as large or even larger than they were before they went on that diet in the first place. And I always have to pause, because that number is shocking. It's sad. 80%. That's well more than just a majority of people. That's almost all. That is almost all. That means that only 20% of people who lose the weight successfully keep it off when they've done it by dieting. All right. So let's talk about why you're here. You're here because you know and you want, you need a reset. You need to reset your mind. You need to reset your eating. You need to reset your body. But this is the thing. When you take the time to reset your mind and your eating, it naturally trickles into your body. Let me know if that makes sense in the comments. If that makes sense, type "it makes sense" in the comments. And then I also encourage you to drink your water. Good, good, good. So I do not believe that anything works until we tackle the storm that is brewing in our minds first. We absolutely have to address what's going on with our minds, because again, 80% of people who've lost the weight gain it back. Why? Why? Why is that number so high? Well, I'm going to tell you, give you some reasons why. The first thing is that they haven't replaced their diets with a healthy lifestyle. Dieting is temporary. They've committed to a specified time frame. They said, you know what? I'm going to take these fat burner pills for the next 2 months so that I can fit into this wedding dress. You know what? I'm going to try this detox tea so that I can look good when I go on vacation. You know what? I'm going to try out this 90-day program that says that I can lose up to 6 pounds a week. There's always a time frame. I want to look good before my 55th birthday so I can take these pictures. By the time my son graduates, I want to lose 10 pounds. There's this date, there's this number. I'm going to try it for this specific amount of time. They haven't committed to saying, hey, these are the things that I need to do. I just want to live a certain type of lifestyle, right? We're going back to the lifestyle. Because when you put a time frame on it, you want to look good for your pictures in your 55th birthday for your photo shoot. But what about when you're 55 years and 2 days? What happens then? If you haven't created a lifestyle and it's just temporary, you're going to go back to look like that 80%. Let me know if that makes sense. Let me know if that makes sense to you in the comments. Because anything that you change, if you go back to your old habits, you're going to get those same old results. Period. Period. That's what you're going to get. So let me ask you this question. Let's move on to the next reason why they are regaining this weight. But before I give you the answer, I want to ask you a few questions. In the comments, tell me some of the foods that you consider to be good foods, some of your favorite good foods. Let me know some foods that you think are good foods that you enjoy. Foods that are good when it comes to losing weight. Salmon, sweet potatoes. What else? Spinach salad. Okay, good. All right. So tell me, list some of the bad foods that are not what you consider to be conducive to weight loss. And I see for good, I see egg whites, salmon, leafy greens, veggie seafood. All right. So when it comes to the bad food, I see bread, ice cream every night. What else? Chips and cookies. Chips. A lot of people like chips. Candies. Creamy salad dressings. Enjoying this list. Drinks. I'm just going to do it. What type of drinks are you referring to? Ranch dressing. Now you see how it's easier. Coke, Dr. Pepper. The list keeps going with what the bad foods are. But part of the reason why they're regaining the weight is because they believe and behave as if there are good and bad foods. But I'm here to tell you that there are no good or bad foods. It's just food, period. Now, what I do want you to ask yourself is, does what I'm eating or what I'm consuming, because Miss Glendora talked about the drinks and we listed talking about the Coke and the Dr. Pepper, do they align with what my goals are? If I continue to have the ranch dressing, if I continue to eat the salmon, if I continue to drink the Dr. Pepper, if I continue to drink the water, if I continue to eat the potato chips, if I continue to eat the egg whites, do they align with my goals? Some of those answers will be yes, some of them will be no. Then it's your time to decide what you're going to do. So let's talk about what happens when we consider something to be good food. So we talked about and let's look back at the list. I remember salmon, egg white, spinach salad, sweet potatoes, leafy greens, veggies, and seafood. So when we eat those things and we consider it to be a good food, what do we do now? Now we reward ourselves. You know what? I did a good job today. I ate salmon. I ate leafy greens. I had some sweet potatoes. I had all these good things for me. So now I can have this extra glass of wine. Now I can have this extra cookie I want. You're rewarding yourself. You're rewarding yourself with food. But my question is always, are you a dog? Are you a dog? If you are not a dog, why are you rewarding what you consider to be good behavior with food? Ms. Glendora says she's guilty of it. We do that. I get to have. Now, what else can happen is that you can become a little complacent. You know what? I ate salmon spinach today and my egg whites. You know what? I don't have to work out today. I did great with my eating. Nah, I just won't work out today. You know what? I did great with how I was eating today. So you know what? Maybe I could chill out for another day or two and just eat whatever I want because I did great on this day. We get stuck in saying, okay, I did great, so I don't have to keep going. But when you get those good results, right, it's not the time to slow down. It's the time for you to speed it up instead, right? Now, I see other folks. Shonda says she's guilty too. Now, this is what happens when you eat something that you consider to be bad. And at any point, like Ms. Glendora and Shonda are doing, please feel free to jump in and let me know if you can relate. So when you have something that you consider to be bad, like those cookies or those chips, what do? Now you punish yourself. You say, I ate those chips, so now I have to walk an extra mile a day. I had that extra glass of wine, so now I have to drink 4 cups of water. I have to. You also can beat yourself up and say, you know what? I sat there and ate 8 of those chocolate chip cookies I baked for my husband. I ate half of that pineapple upside down cake instead of just one slice. Now, you know what? I messed everything up. I messed up, so I may as well just keep on going. Pass me the cake. Pass me another cookie. Pass me another glass of wine because I already messed myself up. And there's no need in me exercising now because, oh, well, I already did too much. I messed up everything I did. Tell me if y'all ever said that. And I see in the comments, guilty. Yes, that's me. Who else has said any of those? But I don't ever want you to tell yourself you ate anything good. And I see some more guilties. Or did you eat anything bad? At the end of the day, you may have chosen a fuel that was better than the other type of fuel, or a fuel that was not as good as a different type of fuel. And notice I'm saying fuel as opposed to food, because everything that we eat is fuel for the body. It is fuel for your body. All right. So this is what I want for you. Again, when you're eating something, ask yourself if, and drinking, if it aligns with your goals. You shouldn't have to work out. Exercising is a blessing. There are people who are not able to use their bodies as you can. I'm gonna sit there, I'm gonna sit here and let that soak in for half a second and drink some water, and you drink some water too while you think about that. Exercising is not a punishment. It is a luxury. I'll share with you all, and I'll share again. In 2016, when I was preparing for my second figure competition, I said, oh, you know what? You can do it again. Come on, do it again. It's when my legs started acting up. It was September 26, 2016. I'll never forget the date. And I said, uh-oh, something's not right. My foot is numb. My hip hurts. Knew what the doctor was going to say. The doctor said, so you have sciatica. You have to stop everything. Don't do yoga. Not even yoga, y'all. Don't do anything. Let your body rest. Like, wow. Okay. Here I am trying to prepare. Well, I was preparing for a show, and now I can't exercise. All right. And I remember thinking, I actually recorded a video. It's like, okay, is this a pause or a period in my program, right? Like, am I just going to have to take a week off, or am I done? And initially I thought it was just a pause. And then the next week, here, listen to this. The initial pain and numbness were in my right leg. So it's my right hip that was hurting, my right foot that was numb. The next week, my left arm was numb. And I'm like, what is this? How is it jumping across my body? Long story longer. They're like, okay, there's something neurological going on with you. It may be MS. What? It may be MS. As a matter of fact, let me turn on my camera and talk to y'all for a second. Let me know if you can see me. We're going to have a moment on this one. Let me know in the comments if you can see me yet. Okay, great. So let's have a talk about that. So I'm thinking like, okay, it's just sciatica. And they're like, no, we think you may have MS. Something neurological is going on. We need you to go get an MRI. Has anybody ever had an MRI? And have you ever had one on your head? Now, despite what you all may think with how sometimes I get a little emotional, a little sensitive and cry, I'm a pretty tough cookie. I have a high tolerance for pain. I work very well under pressure. Like, I can handle a lot. Yes. So Miss Eleanor, Shonda, Miss Iris, you know how freaky that is to have your head placed in a cage with sponges or pillows or whatever around your head, and they put you in a machine and it just bangs around you, right? And I will be honest. I had heard about them, but I didn't know what to expect. What I tell you, I walked out that hospital. I called my girlfriend. I said, I'm coming to get you. We going to the bar. My nerves are shook. Did anybody else feel that way? Oh my gosh. So I remember like, oh yeah, Miss Ellen. So this is the thing, Miss Eleanor. I ended up having to go back because when I met with the neurologist, he said, "Oh, they gave you the one without the dye or something." He said to me, and he said, "I hate to tell you this, but I need you to go back. And this time I want them to do the snap, but I'll order both of them at the same time." Right. So, Ms. Iris, that's what I did. I smartened up. I said, look here. When I got up in there, I said, I need the Valium. Because my old coworker told me about it, because I told her how freaked out I was. And so when I say that I got that Valium, baby, that doggone MRI was still freaky, but it was not as freaky. And I just remember, I think I actually fell asleep for a hot second. But I remember when I came out, my husband said, "Oh, I need one of those things," because I was gone, but I needed it, right? So, yeah. Oh, yeah. I needed that contrast. I needed to die. So, and I just want to see you all. Well, wanted you to see me because during that period was when I realized that was just the beginning. At first, because like I said, that was September, October. The MRI started in October, I believe, 2016. That was the first taste of um, missing the ability to just exercise. At the time, I was frustrated because, as a matter of fact, wow, the competition was supposed to have been on October 31st. It was a Halloween show of 2016. And at first, I was just disappointed that I had to pull away from my goals, right? I didn't know that my health issues were going to continue for years, literally for years. So September 26th was the last time I had walked out of my office at work. And I had been so weak and with my body, with them trying to figure out my body for so long, I don't think I was able to go back into work until February or March. I could barely drive. I could barely go to the store. And I was like, this is crazy. And then March came. Let's see. No. That was 2017. I can't remember what else happened in 2017. But then in 2018, I had to get surgery on my foot. And then in 2019, I had a full hysterectomy, plus a breast biopsy, a cervical biopsy. All these things made me stop. And that's when I realized that exercising is a blessing. It is not a form of punishment. It is not a form of punishment. Right. Ms. Iris said, I didn't know I was claustrophobic, so I was scheduled for an MRI. I felt like I had to, I had to relinquish my control, which was weird to me. I think I would have been okay. Like on TV, they don't show you the cage part. Like on TV, they just show you going in. And I was like, oh, I could do that. But when they put that cage over me, if you all have ever seen The Man in the Iron Mask with Leonardo DiCaprio, that's how I felt. I was like, what is this thing? Like, you gonna close this over my face? And then when they start pushing those doggone cushions in by my ears, I was like, what is really going on? And that's the thing. I also wasn't mentally prepared for it. I wasn't mentally prepared for it to even say, okay, this is what to expect. So woosah out. So that was another issue. But I wanted to look you in your face and tell you that exercising is not a punishment. It is a blessing. One of these days, you may not be able to, and you're going to miss it. You're going to miss it. So while you are able to use this body, use it. There's someone else laying up somewhere wishing they could do what you can do. I honestly feel it is disrespectful for me to be able-bodied and not use it when there's somebody wishing that they could do what I can do. How disrespectful is that? And you're like, I don't know this person. We're all connected. I believe in the connection of the universe. I feel you, you feel me. I'm responsible for you. You're responsible for me. I help you, you help me. That's how we all work together. I don't know if you've seen the movie Avatar or not, but that's one of the reasons why I love that movie so much, because they're all connected. They're connected to the universe. I believe in it. So I am going to respect you. I am going to respect your friends, your families, your siblings, your parents who aren't able to move it. I'm going to use my body. I'm going to use it because I can. Yes. Let's see. Iris, I felt like I was in a coffin. Yes, could move. Needless to say, the first MRI was not done that day. You know what, Miss Iris? I'll tell you, I told you I went and got me a drink after this. I went straight to the bar. Straight to the bar. As I said, then we could say, I'm glad I'd rather had than I wish I had. Absolutely. So let's go back to talking about this. And I'm going to turn my camera back off. Let's get back into it. Miss Ali just said, we say, I'm glad I did rather than I wish I had. We don't regret the workouts we do. We regret the workouts we skip. And then what happens when we skip them? You say, oh, I already skipped one day. I may as well just wait until next week to start all over. And then, you know, like they say, it's starting on Monday, right? Monday comes, you like, well, I already skipped 3 days. What's another week gonna hurt? And then you say, oh, well, it's already been 3 weeks. I may as well just round it out to a month. That's what happens because you don't realize that every day is a brand new opportunity. Every day is a brand new opportunity. All right. So that's why in the emails, something that I gave you all as part of this masterclass, I gave you all access to 10 affirmation wallpapers that I want you to download and to use. And as you'll see on the page, it says, take what you need. I gave you 10 because some days you're going to need something and some days you're going to need something else. So let's talk about all of them. Why you have them. Number one, relapse does not mean collapse. Just because you ate something you consider to be bad, that does not mean that you've ruined everything. That does not mean you ruined everything. That just means, okay, today or this hour was not the best decision when it came to my goals, but that doesn't mean that everything is over. Keep at it. Yes, Miss Iris, it's sent in an email. So in the email with the downloaded links at the bottom, it said freebies. So you'll see the link for the affirmations, the wallpaper, and then you'll also see the link for the access to the Healthy Habits Summit Speakers Vault. So that was in the email. I believe you registered last week, so you should have received the email yesterday morning, Friday morning. All right, so what's my real goal? It's the second one. Why do we ask that? A lot of times I ask people what their goals are, health and fitness goals. There's a number. I want to weigh, I want to get back into my 200s. I want to get back into the 100s. I want to be 175. They say that typically that number isn't the real goal, because if we dig deep into it, the goal is more about a feeling. You want to feel comfortable in your skin again. You want to catch your partner sneaking a peek at you again. You want to fit back into your favorite jeans. You want to fit back into your wedding dress. You want to feel energetic. You want your energy level back. You want those things. Right, Ms. Eleanor, so I just want to fit my clothes. That's the real goal, because that number on the scale is nothing. I'll just be honest with you all. Let me tell you all this, because y'all gonna see my weight anyway when we do the BMR and the BMI. But and I told you I don't weigh myself. I have a scale because it's the same scale I had for when I trained for my competition, because I had to have one because that was part of my program with my trainer. But every once in a while, I'll jump on just out of curiosity. I like to laugh because I told you I like to do different types of experiments when it comes to my weight. But I will say this. I weighed myself and I was like, okay, I'm 137. And I'll tell y'all, when I went in for my hysterectomy last year, I was 158. And I only know this because I made a mistake and saw my weight on the discharge papers for my surgery. So I've lost over 20 pounds since the surgery. And I think the smallest I remember seeing was like 133. But I got on the scale because I was like, oh, I don't know. I felt like maybe I was back up in the 140s. I'm literally still 137. But I got on the scale because I don't like what I'm feeling right now. I don't like what I'm seeing. Someone said, I just want to get off all the meds and feel comfortable in my body. Right. Last week, Miss Eleanor said last week I fit into a skirt I haven't worn in almost 2 years. Let's give it up, Miss Eleanor. Yes, I love it. But I felt like my abs, something I don't like what's going on in my ab area. I don't care what that scale says. I don't like that. So that's what I'm working on. And you know what? As far as the downloads, I will make sure if anyone does not have them, Ms. Iris, I saw your message. I will send those again, make sure that I send them after the training to make sure you have them. Right? So what's the real goal? It's not a number. It's typically something else. You want to be like Miss Eleanor and fit in skirts that you haven't been able to fit in for the last 2 years. I'm gonna skip the next one because we're gonna keep that for last. What's that? The fourth one. Does this align with my goals? Again, ask yourself, does this align with my goals? The exercising, the eating, whatever it is, the skipping, the exercising, the salmon versus the burger. Does this align with my goals? That should be your question to yourself. Tell yourself that you are worthy. You're always worthy. You're worthy of good health. You're worthy of feeling good about yourself. You're worthy of confidence. And of course, there are no good and bad foods. Is what we're talking about right now. So when you do have something that you enjoy, don't beat yourself up over it. We just talked about that. If you think it's a bad food, you're going to punish yourself and not even enjoy it. You're eating it because you want it. It's just food. It's just food. Now, this next one is so doggone important. My goals are my goals. I need y'all to say that with me. My goals are my goals. There's no such thing as comparison. Comparison is the thief of joy. Don't you dare do that. Because when you measure yourself each week, that's what I'm talking about in all caps. Come on, Miss Glendora. When you step on that scale and you see that you lost 2 pounds, or you take those measurements and see that you've lost 4.5 inches and you dancing around, you celebrating, don't you dare snatch that away from you, from yourself, when you see that somebody else lost 4 pounds and they lost 6 inches and you're like, oh, they lost more than me. No, no, no. Everything is a win. Your win is your win. Don't you dare compare yourself to anything else. All right. Remember, we talked about the relapse not being a collapse, because if you look in the middle, every day is a new opportunity. Yes, you may have had one of those days where you say, you know what, I just can't do today. We all know that exercise is a great stress reliever. Sure, we do. We all know that eating baked foods is healthier than eating fried foods. We do. But some days you just say, whatever. I want that fried chicken with some sauce. You want it and you eat it. That's okay, because tomorrow you can get right back up and start a new day to get back to finding out and going towards what aligns with your goals. And then I would not compare, because again, your goals are your goals, and you're not going to reward yourself because you're not a dog. It's not a reward. If you enjoy it, then just doggone enjoy it. But it's not a reward. It's all about mindset. That's why we're talking about getting the mind right. Now I'm going to bounce back up because I did not forget. Right smack dab in the middle at the top is grace. Give yourself grace. We are way too hard on ourselves. And that goes from everything from telling yourself what you should and shouldn't look like, what you should and shouldn't weigh, how much you should and shouldn't be able to do physically. What you can do is what you can do. You just work to get stronger each day. Now, this is the only competition you have is who you were yesterday. That's the only competition you have, who you were yesterday. So when you have those days when you do skip a workout, when you have those days where you ate way too many cookies, you have those days where you didn't drink water like you know you should have. Give yourself some grace. You're a human being. It happens. It happens. Ms. Gondora says, I used to think that when I was doing the 10-day green smoothies as others were losing, 10 pounds, and I'd only lost 6 or less. Right. And Ms. Gondora, I bet you when you were on the scale and you saw your 6 pounds, you were dancing, you were partying, you were celebrating like, yes. And then you look up and see what everybody's doing. It's like, wonk, wonk, wonk. And that should not be the case. That is not the case. You won, period. You won. So any other comments or questions before we get into talking about our eating? That's what's up next on our deck. So we talked about the things we need to do to reset our mind. We're about to move on to eating. Any questions about the mind? Any comments about the mind? And I want you to drink some water. And I'll tell you, this is the section where we are about to start pulling out worksheets, calculators, pens, and all that good stuff. It's time to put in some work. All right. All right. So I see no questions. So we're talking about resetting your doggone. I think I could pop up. Hopefully I'm not blocking your screen. You probably can see me again. And I'm jumping on because like I feel like when we're talking about math and numbers, there needs to be some eye connection, right? We need to be able to, feel, you need to be able to feel my spirit when we talking through it. All right. So in your downloads, and actually, Miss Iris, wonder if there's a way that I think I can get it for you pretty quickly. Let's see. If you all don't mind, I am going to grab the, Ms. Iris, do you have access to a printer right now to be able to print? And I know for sure, because we're going to do the BMR calculator. So Ms. Iris, I'm about to make sure you get the links to be able to access, especially the BMR calculator, as we move along. Okay. Well, Ms. Iris, you know what? I can just push, and you all are still seeing the how much should you eat slide. Is that what you see? Please let me know. Yes, awesome. Okay, so Ms. Iris, I'm just checking because I should be able to push the email to you right now so that you can have everything as we move forward. And I appreciate you all for being patient and supportive of your sister in health and fitness as we all work through this. All right, so Ms. Iris, yes. In your email that you opened this morning, you received an email that says you're in, the wait is over, Masterclass. It was just open a little bit earlier. you should be able to, and I'm just checking the message just to make sure. Yes, so in there, there's the link for the worksheets and for the freebies. So all of that is in that email that you just got this morning. All right. All right. So let's jump to how much should you eat? And you is in all caps for a reason. Everybody does not need the same thing. Our bodies are different and our goals are different, right? All right. So we are about to jump into the BMI and BMR calculators. So let me know if you're able to open yours. Open yours so that you can do it along with me as I'll show you all mine. Let me know in the comments. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, okay, okay. Cool, 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 cool. Let's get into it. Let me share mine out. All right, so you should be looking at my calculator. You should see the Excel screen. Let me know. Yes, okay, awesome. All right, so this is how it works. Of course, okay, Miss Iris, I'll see if I can push it to you. I'll definitely send it to you. Let me see. Hold on, y'all. Apologies, apologies, apologies. Because I want to make sure that we all have everything so we can follow along together. Apologies. Let's see. All right. Okay. Well, Miss Iris says, keep on rolling. She can follow along on the screen. All right. So let's go through the BMR and the BMI, what they mean. So you all have done it before. Let me know if you all have done yours too. Okay. So I'm a female, even though I have friends who like to call me dude. They act like I'm aggressive. I am a female. As I told you, I'm 137. I am 5'5", even though some people try to argue with me and say that I'm 5'4". The military says I'm 5'5", so I'm taking my inches. I'm 5'5", and I am 43, soon to be 44. Okay, so what does this say about me? And can you all see me entering all of my information? Hope you all can see that. Let me know if you saw me enter all of my information, because it's looking like the share. Okay, awesome, cool. So as you see, my BMI is 22.8, which means I'm in the normal weight. So what does BMI mean? What does it stand for? Okay. And let me know if you've done yours. If you have yours open now, go ahead and enter your information. You don't have to answer it. You don't have to tell us if you don't want to. That's fine. But what does this mean? So my BMI, that's the body mass index, that's comparing how much of my body is made up of fat for the most part. That's the simplest way to explain it. How much of my body is made of fat? So the reason why the BMI, and that's why the BMI is important. So whenever you talk about, when you hear me or anyone else talk about the obesity rate or the rate of people who are overweight, it's never about bashing or anything like that. Never that. The issue is that your body can have too much fat on it. We're going to talk about the importance of having fat, period. So I'm not saying don't have fat. Absolutely not. and that's why you'll see that they're considered to be ranges that are normal. And it's funny, I put normal on here because sometimes you'll see them say healthy. And I don't think that's fair to say healthy, right? But you can be underweight, you can have not enough fat. And that's the other thing. So when I did my competition, I can't remember how low my body fat got down to. I'm really thinking. I'm sure if I look in my pictures, I can find it because I was testing it when I went to the gym. Because that's the other thing. This is literally just a basic formula. And I saved you all from the formulas. I almost included the formulas on the chart so you could see it. And I was like, the formulas don't matter because they're just scientific and blah, 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 whatever. But honestly, it's still a guesstimation. The best way to find out how much the percentage of body fat that you carry is to use the machine. Like, so there's a machine, you hold the handles, you actually have to hold your arms out a certain way and use it after, I think it's before you exercise or whatever. And it tells you how much body fat you actually have. And I feel like the lowest I remember getting down to like 17 or something like that. And I remember thinking like, oh my gosh, I'm fat. Because in the body building world and figure competition world, well, not figure competition because that's a different category, but you hear people talk about being 4%, less than 10% fat, and blah, blah, blah. And so I felt fat knowing that I had 17% body fat. And people are talking about how you should only have 7, 8, 10%. I'm like, what? Now we know where the fat was. I'm just saying, I couldn't lose. It was smaller, but that thing was still there. And it look here, I don't know how many squats I would have to do to get that thing to turn into a muscle, because it just is what it is, right? Right. A lot of you did yours. Awesome. I'm trying right. You do it beforehand. And that's the crazy thing about that whole measuring your body fat thing, because if your arms aren't placed out right, if you do it after you exercise, it's just there's so many different formulas. But at the end of the day, you don't want to have too much fat on your body, period. So that's why we have it. I have it color coded for you to show you if you're in which range you're in. Right now, again, this formula is not measuring your body. A lot of us carry a lot of us carry more muscle just in general than fat anyway. That's the way our bodies are composed, right? This formula, this BMI, is literally just comparing your height and your weight and whether you're male or female. That's it. Height, weight, male, female. So it's very generic. So, and I always laugh. I always laugh because my husband played football all through college, very fit, in shape, but because he's 5'8" and was about 200 pounds, he's fit, he's muscular, nice chest, arms, muscular. He's considered to be overweight. And I think at one point they tried to say he was obese based on measurements. So when we would play the We Fit, it would have him round, even though he's nowhere near round. This is all just based on numbers. All right. So, okay, so Ms. Gondora's a little bit overweight. Okay. 30.93, right? But that's the thing. It's just based on a formula. That's just based on a formula. But it's a good foundation. It's a good baseline. All right. So we're clear. Are we clear on that, on the BMR, before we move on to BMI? Are we clear on the BMI before we move on to the BMR? Because the BMR is what is important when it comes to weight loss. Okay, yes. And I'm drinking water, which means you're drinking. All right. So the BMR. Ms. Glendora says started obese. We working on getting that down, Ms. Glendora. That we are. The BMR is something that's not talked about as much, But that's, like I said, that's the key to weight loss. So the BMR is basal metabolic rate. In the simplest terms, it's telling you how many calories you need to just get through the day. Your basic functions of breathing. That's it, that's all. Because everything that we do burns calories. Me moving my hands like this burns calories. You taking notes, looking back, burns calories. Typing on the computer, burns calories. Reaching for your coffee, burns calories. Everything we do burns calories. So the BMR says, hey, this is what you need just to be able, if I just laid there and breathe, excuse me, it's telling me that I would need 1,054 calories to do that. Okay? 1,054 calories just to get through my day. All right? Now you see, again, I removed all the doggone formulas. But when you opened yours, you saw that it started at 660 because it's a formula. That's just the base just to get through the day, so you're not starving yourself. All right. So with that, any questions about this calculator before we bounce back and go back to talking about how much you should eat? I'm checking the comments. All right. Doesn't seem to be any. So let's jump back into talking about. Oh, Cecilia says she can't get it to work. Huh. Cecilia, what did you open it in? Hopefully you open it in Excel. Because I don't know if you tried to open it in any other format. I know sometimes if you don't have Excel on your computer, and maybe it's Google Sheets or something like that, sometimes the formulas may not transfer. Let me know if you tried to open it to see, because it should work.
Yeah, I tried to open it in Excel. I'm trying that now because I got Excel on my phone.
I want you to be able to do it. All right. And are we back on? So as far as calculating the BMI, the formula for the BMI, like I said, is it's one of those things where it's, if you're a woman, it's 66 plus this number times that. It's one of those where, if knowing the formula, it's just easier to use the calculator. Something like the one I provided for you, or you can honestly Google. You can Google BMI calculator and you can find a gang of them. But just knowing the formula is, it's one of those things where it's just like, how did they come up with this? That's one of those things, especially BMR. Just like, what? And the reason why I asked you, you had to fill out whether you're male or female and your age for the BMR and for the BMI. Well, for both of them, because with the BMR, depending on if you're a man or a woman, the formula is completely different. So it's, like I said, I still feel like they make up a whole bunch of stuff and guessing, but I am cool with the formula. Okay. Sounds good, Ms. Iris. All right. So based on the information I just shared with you all, right? So I need you all to get your formulas, your sheets. How much should you eat? So based on, and actually, you know what, Miss Iris, what I will do is I will give you the I will give you the formula. I'll put it in the comments, so that way, if you want it, you can calculate it. So basically, let me see if I can find a clean one. So the way I calculated it for you all, the way that it's set up, it is taking your weight and dividing it by your height in inches squared. So basically, since I am 5'5", that's 65 inches. in what, 137? So 137 for me divided by 65 squared. And that's where you get it. That's what I said, it's one of those things where like, this the math that we have to follow, but that's how you can find your BMI. I'm sorry, that's your BMI. Now the BMR, the formula is way long. But in order to fill out this sheet, you do need the BMR. So that was that is what you see here in the blue. So for all of you who have your formula open for this next sheet, you're going to use the number that's in blue. Write that down as your BMR on your sheet. For me, it was 1054. I need 1,054 calories a day just to be able to do the base, just to be able to live, okay? And then pick your energy level, your activity level. So be honest, do you have a sedentary life? Are you lightly active, moderately, very, or extremely? For me, I'm pretty active, very active. And yes, I'm getting to the outer limit. There we go. TDEE. What does TDEE stand for? TDEE stands for total daily energy expenditure. Okay, so now this is including the things that we do that I talked about. This is talking about the walking, whether it's to and from the restroom, the eating, the washing clothes, the yard work, all of the things that we are doing to exert energy. This number on here is showing you how many calories you need just to maintain your weight. This is not talking about weight loss. So this is that baseline. So for when you all say, so Adila, when we first started the coaching program, we talked about what your goals were. This is the baseline. The TDE is the baseline. Like, okay, if you just, TDE tells you, and this is for all of you, TDE tells you if you eat this number of calories, you're going to maintain your weight. You're not going to gain, you're not going to lose, based on your level of activity that you've put in here. Let me know if that makes sense. And so when we decide, do we want to, what our goals are, weight loss, weight gain, some people do want weight gain, that's how we adjust those numbers. Okay. And then we also talk about how active you're going to be and how much of weight gain you want. So basically with this, okay, Adila says makes sense. Shonda says makes sense. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So have you all calculated your maintenance calories? So for me, because I am pretty active, I've exercised at least 5, if not 6 days a week, sometimes longer, which I try not to do, but some days I just feel the mood. So because I am pretty active, I multiply mine times 1.725 times my BMR, which means for me to just maintain my weight, I should eat 1,818 calories a day. If I don't eat that many calories, then I'm going to lose weight. If I eat more than that, and this is daily, not just saying on one day, but if I continue to eat more than 1,800 calories a day, then I'm going to gain weight. All right, Adila says she's at 1,850 for maintenance. That's for maintenance. That's saying if you don't want to gain any weight or you don't want to lose any weight, eat 1,850. Ms. Glendora says she's at 1,741. So now, let's do a little bit more math. Let me pull out my calculator. So now you have your number. So most people, I don't like to push for anything more than 2 pounds a week. I really don't. It does sort of depend on your size. However, come on now. So what I want you all to do to gradually and healthily lose the weight, I recommend that you decrease your calories by 10%. So now I want you to take, and Shonda says that she can, oh, Shonda, you are active. 2263. Wow, okay. That means you're active. So if you take off 10% and you only consume 90% of that, all right? So for me, if I wanted to lose weight and I only consumed 10%, that means that now I'm at 1636. That's how much I should consume. Now, here we go. Ready to do some more math. All right, so I want you to do that math. So decrease your caloric intake by 10%. So Adela says she's at 1665. Good. So Adela, what I want you to do, and this is daily. So for you, Adela, 1850 minus 1665 is 185 calories per day. Uh-oh, wrong thing I did. Times 7. That's about 1,300 calories that you are saving just from what you're eating per week. We have not included any activity yet. So you're almost at a pound just from that so far. Does that make sense? Shana said 2036. Good. So it would be the same thing. So when you think about how much that could stop you, how much weight you could start losing, you would, and honestly, the highest I typically would go up to is 20% of your TDE for a couple reasons. One, to be healthy. Two, I don't want to shock your body. If your TDE is 1,800, so let's use Shonda's. Shonda's TDE is 2263. Say she's been naturally consuming about 2,300, 2,400 calories a day, right? That's what she's been doing for who knows how long. If all of a sudden I say, you know what, let me see, let me do some more math. 2263. Be nice if I could get those numbers right. If I tell you all of a sudden, you know what, I'm gonna take you down to 1,800 because now I've taken off 20% just off top. I'm asking you to consume 400 calories less than you would typically consume immediately. And that can be a drastic shock. That could be a drastic shock, just not to your body, but also to your habits. And if that's something that you haven't mentally prepared for, then that could be a huge problem. All right, does that make sense? Ms. Glendora says, repeat how to calculate how many calories to decrease. Oh, Ms. Glendora, that's just the a percentage. So typically I would say, let's do, if your TDE just to maintain your weight is at one level, for us to gradually start losing the weight, I'll say, okay, we're just going to consume 90% of those calories, or we're only going to consume 80% of those calories. So you would take whatever your TDE is, your maintenance number, and multiply that by either 0.9, which would mean you're keeping 90% of those calories and reducing it gradually by 10%. Or you could say multiply by 8.8, which means you're going to remove 20% of those calories to make the weight loss a little bit faster. 20% is still, it's still healthily, it's not too bad, but that is when we're like pushing to lose the weight. Because again, we're also going to increase activity as well. Because this is just focused on, remember, this is going off of your BMR, your basal metabolic rate, just what your body needs to exist. It's not talking about any energy. This TDE that we're looking at now, this is what includes the energy. All right. Ms. Eleanor says 1819 is my 18, and that's good. So, oh, okay. So Eleanor, Ms. Eleanor, you're saying that the 1819 is your decrease to lose weight. Okay, good. It's amazing how I those calories add up, and that's still a good amount of calories to eat so you don't feel like you're hungry. All right. Oh, okay, gotcha. So her maintenance calorie 2021. And so what I ask you all, well, what I want to ask you all is when you look at what your decrease is, what do you feel you can handle? How many of you are logging your foods? I've been asking you all to log your foods. How many of you are logging? And if you are logging, how many calories are you averaging? You can keep that to yourself. But I want you to think about that. And if you are not logging, write yourself down. Write this down as your homework. Start logging. That is your homework, to start logging your food. Because ignorance is not bliss. And it definitely is not bliss when it comes to your health. Period. We can guess and we can assume how much assume. We could guess and assume how much we're consuming, but you do not know until you actually log. And I will tell you, you're going to be surprised. You're going to be surprised. So, excuse me. Great job, Ms. Glendora. She says, I've been using my Fitness Pal since Fitness program. Awesome. So I'll ask you all this. I want you to, as part of your homework now, write it down on any of these sheets of paper, especially for anyone who is not logging yet. I want you to guess how many calories you honestly consume during a day. I want you to just take a stab at it and write it down. And then I want you to start logging your foods and then see if what you're consuming compares to what you thought you were consuming. That's your homework. Let's see. Adela says she was inconsistent. Miss Eleanor, she wanted you to do 1,200 and your TDE is 2,000? How long ago was that? What? Was that recently?
No, that was years ago. She retired. That was about 5 years ago. I was going to it like about 10 years, but I never got to, no, I didn't do 1,200 calories. No, I'd have been dead.
She wanted you to take off 40%? Wow.
Yes.
Like that, if you can't tell by my face, I'm, as they say over in London, I'm Bath right now, Bath. So, 800 calories. So this is the thing. If you did that, you'd have been shaving off 800 calories a day from what your body needs, right? Just to survive. We're not talking about any energy. You're not exercising, not doing anything. That means that you are going to lose 5,600 calories per week. And we're going to talk about this some more too. And so we know 5,600 calories. So that means just from the eating alone, that was a 1.6 pounds, which sounds exciting, right? But then think about it, you're also going to be exercising and moving, which means you're going to be burning even more calories.
And I
which means you're losing,
every day.
Who knows, 3, 4, 5 pounds a week. Sounds good, right?
Yeah, good in theory, yeah. It didn't happen.
How many weeks can you lose 5 pounds or more? Let's take a pause for the cause on this. And I see some comments. Let me check these comments. So this is the thing. When you lose the weight that quickly, it's not sustainable. It's just not. You plateau, you get frustrated, you start eating again, because at the base of it, your goal is a number. It's a number. That's why I do not push quick weight loss. I know that psychologically folks want to see that scale changing. Psychologically, you want to see that number going down because we've been taught to believe that that number is the measurement of our success. But remember, we're here to reset our mind first. Now we're talking about resetting our eating. We're also going to talk about how it resets the body. But that's why when you work with me, as you all have seen, we measure the scale, these inches, and these pictures. That scale may or may not move, but those pictures and those inches will show you the progress that you made. Your body is restructuring itself. It's rebuilding itself, whether that scale moves or not. Because the interesting thing is, and I'm always very clear when I start working with people and talk about my program, you may or may not lose weight. Because I am a proponent of strength training. Strength training, we're going to talk about that too. Strength training helps you to burn fat faster. It helps to shape your body faster. Again, 5 pounds of fat, 5 pounds of muscle. Which one do you want? Wouldn't you still keep that 5 pounds if it went from looking like this to this? Would you rather lose 5 pounds? The scale says you lost 5 pounds, but you're still like this. You look like this. Or would you like the scale to stay the same and now you're looking like this? You tell me which one makes sense. You tell me which one you really want. Tell me which one. Shonda says, access 15, 14, I eat 12 to 1,500 a day unless I'm big. Extra than millions of calories. Only reason the scale now is because of this challenge. I normally don't use scale. There we go, Miss Eleanor. Clothes or the scale. So with those apps too, right? It also depends on what you tell them your goal is. Because I think it will even ask if you want to lose like how many pounds you want to lose per week, or if you want to lose a certain number of pounds in a certain time frame, like 30, 60, 90 days or something like that. So it'll calculate just on that. But again, it really is just the calories. It's not, and it's sort of going by the TDE because it'll ask you, well, how active are you? But it's talking about how active you are now, not what you do do down the line. Right. Miss Glendora said the scale will stay the same, but her body changes. Absolutely. Miss Iris, you know what? Let me try one more time to see, because I really want you to get this information, because I really want you to follow along with us. Be part of the fam. I don't like anybody being left behind. No, no, no. We don't do that. We are one team. We stick together. Want to see. Oh, I think I figured out what I can do for you. So Ms. Iris, what I'm going to do is I am going to, okay, so you did get the Zoom stuff. What I am going to do is I'm going to push it through one more time and let's see if it comes to you. Let's see. Oh, you know what? Actually, Ms. Iris, I'm going to send it to you right now from my own email because I don't want you to miss out on anything. Is that okay, y'all? You give me half a second just to make sure that Ms. Iris is part of the family. It's funny because I have so much going on my computer is slow. It's like you have all this streaming and recording and all of this other stuff. But we are almost there. And if y'all have any questions, any other questions or comments, please feel free to drop them in the comments as we are getting this together for Ms. Iris. I hope my typing isn't super loud. I had an ex-boss. She was an aggressive typer. And whatever she typed, I was like, good grief, what did that keyboard do to you? So it's like now at this point, I'm always mindful of how quickly and how hard I type on my keyboard, because I'm like, that keyboard must be in pain. All right, so Miss Iris, I am sending, oh, stop it. Sending these over right now. And I apologize for the, I feel like it's a janky email, but I just want to make sure you have them right now so we can get through. And then I'll try to send them through again with the, make it look pretty. All right, there we go. Sent. So you should be able to check your emails in the next 20 seconds and it should be there. All right, we still rocking and rolling, everybody? So let's talk now about what we should do. Some of the changes that we should make to help, because we're talking about how we change how we eat, right? What are some of the changes that you should make to be able to lose weight? And again, let's get back to the information. If you're all ready to know the changes that you should make in your eating, type ready in the comments. I'm glad you got it. Awesome. Ready. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go. So the first thing I want you to do is eat more often. Eat more often, y'all. Too many people, when it comes to being on this weight loss quest, because we know that if we decrease our calories, we will lose weight. People just stop eating. Decreasing calories does not mean that you should eat less. Let me know if I'm losing anybody. The problem is not, it's not just about, and we're going to talk about when to eat too. But the problem with it, yeah, there we go. That's what I'm saying. Miss Cecilia, come on. She said, this is definitely my issue. I only eat twice a day. Come on now. This is the problem. This is the problem. When we don't eat, our body goes into conservation mode. Not eating does you a disservice. It puts your body like in sleep mode. It's not working that fast. It's not fueling your body. It's basically coasting. That's what it's doing. It's like if you're waiting too long to put gas in your car, now your car is coasting because you're not fueling it, right? But you have to keep, because what I tell you, when we just went over, here we go. I told you all, we burn calories with everything we do. Part of that is even with eating. So the more you fuel it, the more it takes energy. It takes energy to burn the food that you've eaten. That's all a calorie is. Calorie is a form of energy and heat. That's all it is. So the more you eat, the more your body is at work. Please tell me if that makes sense. Please tell me if that makes sense. The more you eat, the more your body is at work, the more your body will burn calories. All right. Shana says, but what if you feel full after lasting until the next meal? This is a great question, Shonda. Come on with it. This is the thing. Take some water, y'all. Then we're going to hit that because I just had this conversation with somebody else. I like that question. And Ms. Ali says, I eat when I'm hungry, not starving. Another great point. So this is the thing. If you're feeling full after you've eaten, whether it's a snack or a meal, you've eaten too much. You should feel satisfied, but you shouldn't feel full. It takes about 20 minutes for our bodies to digest what we've had, right? For you to know if you're satisfied or if you're full. Just had this conversation with somebody the other day too. If you eat, things I did a lot the other night. If you eat until you're full, you've eaten way too much. You ate 20 minutes longer than you should have, right? So if you ever plop back feeling full with the fork still in your hand, you did the most. You did the most. Did way too much. But what I would challenge you to do, Shonda, I believe Shonda said that sometimes, so Shonda says feel full after the last meal. What I challenge you to do is to have smaller meals. And I say that, as I just had this conversation with another client, because you can stay within your calorie limits, right? And still not really lose weight. You can still stay within what you calculated for your TDE to lose weight, right? And still not lose it. Because if you pile all of your calories in, if you pile, like most of you were at 1,800, 2,000, 2,400 calories, if you pile all of that into 2 meals, your body, it's like you're a bear. Your body's just conserving all that and gradually just distributing it throughout the day. As opposed to if you're feeding it, if you take that same 2,000 calories, and you spread that between 3 meals and 2 snacks, your body's constantly on burn mode, because it's getting 300 calories here, 200 calories there, 600 calories here, another 100 calories here. It's constantly working. Excuse me. So I want you to, so Shauna says, so instead of a cup of oatmeal, then half a cup. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's a great example because say for instance, like I've told you, I eat oatmeal all the time. But I've noticed I tried to go up and eat more, and it just doesn't work for me. It makes me feel too full. So honestly, something that I do to make sure that I'm burning calories throughout the day is that even if I make, I'll make that half a cup that turns into about a cup after I make it, and I'll eat on it. But then, like you heard me say, eat on it, and I'll save some so that I can snack on it throughout the day. So still that 1 cup of oatmeal with all of its nutrients, calories, fat, carbs, all of that stuff, but I'm spreading it throughout the day so my body's continuously burning. Great question, Shauna. Let me know if that makes sense. All right. Good. So the next thing is talking about when we eat. Does it matter when we eat? Absolutely it does. Absolutely it does. So let's have a quick talk about this. So intermittent fasting is one of those topics that comes up frequently. Should you do it? Should you not do it? Is it good for you? Is it not good for you? And what I always say is, I say a couple things. That's funny. I just realized I opened with that. What I always say is, but my stance on intermittent fasting, I don't believe in fasting for weight loss. I do not. Because I don't think that's healthy as far as starving yourself and things like that. However, my other belief is that we all fast anyway. That's what breakfast is. Break fast. You're breaking your fast from not eating overnight. Period. So when people say, oh, I'm thinking about considering intermittent fasting, or you're already fasting. Now, something that was great that came up during the Q&A earlier with Miss Glendora, when she said that She was about to get some snacks middle of the night and realized, nope, just need to rest. And I'm skipping down to this last bullet point just because it fits in the conversation. You should aim to have a 12-hour window between your dinner and your breakfast. I didn't say breakfast or dinner, dinner, breakfast. So if you're eating dinner at 7 p.m., you should aim to have breakfast no earlier than 7 a.m. If you think about it, that's because that's giving our bodies a chance to rest. You're giving your body a chance to rest from trying to process all that food, because that can be a little hard on the body, especially depending on what you eat, especially beef. That can be hard on your digestive system. All right. And that's the one thing I do like about intermittent fasting. It's okay to allow your body a chance to rest. All right. But make sure that you are eating frequently enough. So we're going to go back up to that. You have to eat more frequently. You see all of these meals and snacks, you should be eating throughout the day. Now, when and what should you eat? Breakfast, because you are breaking your fast. And that's the other thing I don't like about intermittent fasting. When folks are doing that, where they're like, oh, I'm on the 16-8, where I only eat 8 hours a day. And so I skip breakfast. A lot of people do that. They skip breakfast, don't eat until 1 or 2 o'clock, and they only eat between, 1 and 7 or 1 and 8 or something, whatever. Typically they hungry. Yeah, I said hungry. And what happens is when you hungry and you're getting hangry, you don't typically go for the more healthful items when it's time to break your fast. You're going for the stuff that's going to make you happy. And as much as I love salmon, much as I love steamed broccoli, that's not what makes me happy when I've been hungry. It's just not. It's not. So give an example. When I did my figure competition, and I need to pull up the picture, but because I was in a strict program, because I was getting on stage, of course I'm going to adhere to what I need to do to be able to lose the weight, to burn the fat, yada, yada. So I would create a list of all the foods and drinks and condiments that I wanted, that I missed, that I could not have on that program. I could not if I wanted the results I wanted, right? Because again, the question was, does this align with my goal? My goal was to look the best that I could look when I stepped on that stage June 7th. That was my goal. So I would write a list. I had this big, the big Post-it papers they have when you're at work and you're doing all your team meetings and all that stuff. I had one of those on my kitchen wall, and every time I would think about something, see something, want something, I would write it on that list. When I say I would literally torture myself looking at Pinterest, looking at food on Pinterest, because there was so much food I wanted, but my family got to benefit because I would just make it for them and I would make them describe it or just smelling it was great. That's a shame. But that was somewhat like a fast, because I tell y'all know what I broke my fast with? Hold on. There we go. We gonna pop back on this here camera. Y'all know what I broke that doggone fast with? So I think I trained for 12 weeks, 16 weeks, somewhere around there. So all of this 12 to 16 weeks of carb cycling, clean eating. I'm surprised I eat boiled eggs now, because I ate so many boiled eggs, so much baked chicken, baked tenderloins, all of that stuff. Healthy. Didn't have any creamer in my coffee, didn't have any condiments at all. When I say I was clean. As soon as I stepped off that stage, matter of fact, I took some of the stuff with me. Do you think that I got done and say, ooh, I want some salmon and steamed broccoli? Nope. I had, what kind were they? It was some type of Doritos I was in love with at the time. I had a bag of Doritos. I had almond Snicker. I had what type of drink? I had some type of soda or juice. I don't even drink those, but I had it with me just because I have been deprived of it for so long. My first doggone meal, my mother would have been happy, was White Castle. Before I even made it home, I had White Castle, and then I came up in here and I drank a beer. That's how I broke my fast. And that's what happens when people are doing intermittent fasting. You're not breaking your fast in a healthy way. I just had to give y'all some eye contact on that to show you how serious I was about my White Castle and my chips and my Snickers. It was not about anything healthy at all. So when you get up in the morning, you are going to break your fast with something that's full of nutrients. As Ali said, that popcorn mix. Woo, child. Oh my gosh. Cheese, cheese, caramel, plain. Yes. But when you break that fast, because you haven't eaten in at least 12 hours, when you break that fast, you're going to have something that's dense and rich with nutrients. Cereal don't cut it. Well, it depends on the cereal. Let me take that back. If you have something that's full of fiber, you're mixing it, have some Greek yogurt or some yogurt that has protein in it. You have your eggs for your protein. That's what you should be breaking your fast with. That's how you should start your day. Because it is, what is that word on there? It is fuel. That's how you should fuel your body. And your breakfast, should be heavy. Not heavy, but it should be dense because it is fueling your body for the day. All right. Lunch, which a lot of people, don't give credit to. Lunch doesn't seem to get too much respect around here in these parts, but lunch should be your heaviest meal. It's going to keep sustaining you throughout the day. And despite what folks think, people love a nice hearty dinner. Dinner should be light. And it should be early. You shouldn't have dinner less than 2 hours before you plan to go to bed. You should not lay down on a heavy, full stomach. Eating, even though we burn calories while we sleep, but when you don't burn as many calories while you sleep as you do when you're going throughout your day. So giving it less than 2 hours, giving your body less than 2 hours to digest that food does not give you ample time to burn and digest that food before it turns into fat. As Iris says, Cheerios don't, right? And I'm trying to think, are there, because a lot of these, I was about to call them sandwiches. Why do I have sandwiches on the bread? A lot of these cereals do have like protein, high protein versions, but I don't think Cheerios is one of them. But I hope that makes sense. Don't lay down and go to sleep on a heavy meal. Do not do it. It will turn into fat. All right? Now, let's see. Ms. Glendora says, I couldn't do a heavy lunch when I was working because I became lazy and sleepy. Presently, I try to do heavy lunch since I'm retired. Yes, that's when you should eat. That's when you should eat. And we typically, a lot of folks do it backwards, have light lunch and heavy dinners. And especially because, the itis can be real, especially depending on what you're eating. But it gives you the fuel that you need to get through the rest of your day. Ms. Iris says, I usually have Cheerios for breakfast every morning. I usually eat dinner late. It's always an issue because I have acid reflux. Ooh, that acid reflux. Oh, my. Oh, Ms. Iris, you want to hear something? I'm going to tell all y'all a secret. I have Tums in my kitchen, Tums in my bedroom, Tums in my purse, Tums in my car. But I've shared with you all too, part of the reason why I drink water is because I've had IBS. So I just have like digestive issues. Acid reflux can be a problem with that, but yes, it is not fun. So I'll tell you this, Miss Iris, Cheerios are not horrible. What I would recommend that you do with it right? Because you like what you like. You like what you like, and that's fine. I would say, I'm not sure how much you eat of it. What I would say is to measure out a serving size, which I think for Cheerios, it might be the full cup or 3/4 of a cup. You'd be surprised at the serving size for these cereals, y'all. You'd be surprised. But have your serving size, have a cup of milk with it, use your whatever milk you use. But then, right, Miss Gloria, you said it's 1 cup. But then I also want you to add a protein to it. That's the other thing. People, you can have cereal, but have more with it. Because it's breakfast, it's nutrient dense. So you want to make sure you have a little bit of everything. Add you some boiled eggs with it. Have you some turkey bacon or sausage or something, another protein with it. It's okay. Have you some Greek yogurt. Have some string cheese. A lot of people, that's the other thing. People are set into what we're supposed to eat for breakfast, what we're supposed to eat for lunch, what we're supposed to. No. Add some doggone seafood to it. Add some shrimp, some turkey. There are a lot of things you can do with it. I just don't want you to have cereal and milk for breakfast only, because you don't get the nutrients you need in those. All right, let's drink, please. All right, this next one, not next one. Next one is interesting because we know it to be true, but depending on how you were raised, it can be a little challenging. It's to leave a little something. Leave a little something on the plate. Now, I don't know about you, but I was raised to clean my plate. So it might be a little hard. You're like, wait a minute, we don't leave food on the plate. We don't waste it. But as I told you all, I will save anything. And nibble on it later. Like my children know we do not scrape stuff into if I leave my plate on the counter with a little corner, they know to just go and mix it in with something else, and we're gonna keep that as a leftover. But I know it can be challenging to leave food behind because we were raised that way. But I said, just look at that as you're not leaving food behind. Y'all ready? What you're doing is creating another small snack for you to eat on later. It's still the same amount of calories, you're just spreading it out along the day. All right. Yeah, Miss Ellen, as doctor says, don't eat certain foods. Yeah, there's certain things, you just can't eat. Yeah. So, Aaron says, I didn't know I had reflux. Oh, I had asthma very bad. Wow. To the pulmonologist, heard me wheeze and realized reflex. Wow. Yeah, I've actually, and I can't remember, I have a friend who is a gastroenterologist, and one of our other friends had reflux like really, really bad. Like I still get it. And sometimes I will just go ahead and take Tums before I eat something because I'm like, oh, it's going to come get me. So I might as well just take it. But he could not function without Tums, could not function. And he went to see our other doctor, who was the GI, and whatever he gave him cleared that stuff up so quickly. So hopefully your doctors are able to help you and not just say don't eat these food. They're able, because not having certain foods is definitely helpful, because if we could stay off meds, that's great. But even if we're staying away from some foods, we can still have a certain level of discomfort, just because even as much as I love oatmeal was giving me reflux for a while. So you just have to be mindful. All right. Thanks, more water. It's been a couple hours. How y'all doing? Do y'all need a break yet? Let me know if you do. Or you probably just running fast. Anyway, you can always turn your camera off and just take your camera with you. Your computer with you, right? All right. So why do we want to leave some? Why do we want to leave some? Again, we don't feel full for about 20 minutes after we've eaten. It takes about 20 minutes. So let's do a quick example of how much you can save as far as calories just by leaving a little bit on the plate. Everybody loves spaghetti. We all love spaghetti. That's one thing that people tend to go crazy over. You eat piles and plates of it. You never see on anything, TV, commercials, print ads, you never just see a small little plate of spaghetti. It's always a big old mound of spaghetti because everybody loves it. But let's say, for instance, if you had a regular serving of spaghetti, we use 4 ounces of ground turkey, we use 2 ounces of spaghetti, and 1 cup of sauce, right? Excuse me, this is your serving. And I pulled these numbers up ahead of time, so that's why I have them. So we're looking at, with that, if you just ate that, that's 500 calories just in itself. Didn't sound like a lot. You probably listen like 2 ounces of spaghetti, 1 cup of sauce. Who wants that? But that's 500 calories that I just listed, right? But it's also 32 grams of protein, which is good. But it's also 66 grams of carbs and 11 grams of fat. All right. If you only ate 90% of that, you just saved 10%, just left a bite or two here and there, you're going to save 50 calories, 6 grams of carbs, 1 gram of fat, and 3 grams of protein. So when you just look at the calories alone, if you did that for each meal where you left a bite, you could save about 100 calories a day just from that one meal. That's not including all of your meals. That's not including your snacks. Just by pulling back a little bit, you can save 700 calories a week just from saving 10% of that one meal. All right. Let me know if that makes sense. Miss Iris says, I never used Tums. I didn't have heartburn. That's why I had no idea. Oh, wow. Oh, you're very welcome for the suggestion. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right. So let's talk about some things that are hidden when we're eating. Now, all of you said you're going to start logging your food. Yes, you are. But I want you to be mindful of, I always say log everything that you consume. I just don't say food, it's consumption. So these are some things that a lot of people overlook when they're logging. And especially if you're guessing right now how many calories you're consuming, you're probably overlooking these as well. One is your cooking oils. Cooking oils, even though you are not just sitting there drinking the whole quarter cup that you use to, however much you use to saute or fry or whatever, it's still being used, it's still being consumed, part of your body. And this is what I tell people. Now, I'm not say this with something that's deep fried. Typically, when you're logging in any of the apps, if you're eating something deep fried, then just put in, fried chicken, fried fish, and it's going to account for the cooking oils and the fats and all of that. But if you're cooking it stovetop, like say for instance, you're sauteing it, I would say if you used a tablespoon of olive oil or whatever you use, or canola oil, vegetable oil, whatever, log that tablespoon. Even though, of course, you're not going to eat the whole tablespoon, it's dispersed across, your food or evaporated, yada, yada. I always say if you're going to lie on the log, lie in a way that it benefits you. Tell yourself that you've consumed more than you actually have. Okay? So that's one thing that people overlook, the oil. We also overlook the coatings and the breadings that we use on our food. I've told you all about me loving Andy's seafood seasoning, but you still have to look at the label to see how much is included, how many calories, carbs, fat, protein are included in your coatings. So just because it's baked, not fried, that does not mean that you should not pay attention to and also log how many calories are part of that serving, right? This is another kicker. Our condiments. Our condiments. In the kitchen, I believe a few weeks ago, I talked about, excuse me, decreasing calories and sugar by using mustard. So mustard is not that bad. Mustard is not great for sodium. But when you look at the syrup, if you're a pancake or waffle eater or whatever, you got to count those calories for the syrup. You have, if you're putting ketchup and mustard and mayo on your burger, your sandwich, your hot dogs, you have to account for that. Barbecue sauce, you have to account for that, because those typically carry, especially the barbecue sauce and the ketchup, carry a lot of sugar. The mayonnaise carries a lot of fat. And we know the syrup carries a lot of sugar, right? You can get you some sugar-free, but still you want to account for these things. These are things that people are overlooking. So as you all get ready to start logging your food, be mindful of that as well. And with that, I challenge you to look at the serving size on each of these condiments and use that serving size with your meal, and then see how much, if you've been using that much or a little bit more, do a comparison. All right. Next up, this is the other, this does the trick. This throws people off. People are like, no, the doggone coffee creamer. That coffee creamer will doggone, oh, sorry, did that delete that? Can you all still see that? Make sure we're on the same page. Hold on. I think it, uh-oh. Whoa, wait a minute. Wait. I don't know what I just hit. Apologies on that. My goodness. Bloop, bloop. Let's see. Let me get back on track, y'all. Who came and hit my screen? Who did it? You know, that's how parents do. Who did it? Couldn't have been me. Let's see. All right. I think we're back on track now. That's Miss Glendora. Stop messing with my screen, okay? Okay. Appreciate it. Everybody we just all trying to live right now. We all trying to learn, and you over here hitting buttons and stuff. That's so not cool. So not cool. All right. I think we're back on track. All these doggone windows. Let me. All right. Let me know once you can see back at the coffee. Tell me if y'all can see the coffee. Back on track. Now I need to pull up. Just now my chat hiding from you. Oh, there we go. All right. Yes. Perfect. Apologies for that. Gotta love technology, right? So our coffee creamer, that is, coffee in itself is usually no or low calorie, maybe 5 calories, depending on what type of coffee it is. For the coffee itself, that's about it. But when we look at our additives, and especially if you still use regular sugar or brown sugar is delicious in coffee. Those are where you get in your calories. And we're going to talk about that too. Some of the ways you can decrease that, but that is one of the biggest hidden calories in our coffee. And then of course, the alcohol. When I asked Miss Glendora earlier what types of drinks she was talking about, a lot of people think that, especially straight alcohol, vodka, tequila, gin, bourbon, whiskey, people think because it's so strong it does not have calories. Do not cheat yourself. Do not lie to yourself. Even a straight 4 ounces of vodka can still be over 100 calories. So don't get suckered into thinking that your calories are free when you are drinking straight liquor. No, it's just harsher to take down, but you do not have free doggone calories. All right. So let's be clear on that. All right. So let's talk about fat for weight loss. I hear a lot. Get asked a lot when it comes to weight loss. How many calories should I have? Like what? I mean, how much fat should I eat? How much protein should I eat? How many carbs should I eat? So let's talk about each of the macros. And you see the calculator is in the top right corner because it's time to do some more math again, y'all. So when it comes to fat, a lot of people try to run away from fat. You cannot run away from fat. Your body needs fat. Okay. So you should be looking at consuming 20 to 35% of your daily calories should be around, that's how much fat you should have throughout the day. Saturated fat, we talked about that 10% when we talked about reading the nutrition labels. You shouldn't have more than 10% of saturated, 10% of your daily calories come from saturated fat. All right. And we know that 9 calories, there are 9 calories per gram of fat. So math time. So if we know, now we're going back to that number that we're not going to do the BMR, we're going to do the TDEE, what that number was for you, right? So mine was 1818. So write down your TDEE and multiply that by 20%. So 18 times 0.20. For me, that is 364 calories. And then you want to go back and multiply that by 35%. For me, that's 636. All right. So that's telling me that I should have 364 to 636 calories come from fat. Now, again, we know that there are 9 calories per gram of fat. So now I'm going to divide that first number, that 20%, which is 364. Oh, that's right. I forgot I said when we do a math, I'll be on camera. 364 divided by 9. And I'm dividing it by 9 because the first number that we did was our calories, how many calories it should be. So my range is 364 calories to 636 calories. When I divide both of those numbers by 9, because they're 9 calories per gram of fat, it's telling me that I should have 40 grams, then 636 divided by 9 to 70, somewhere around there. So 40 to 70 grams of fat per day should be what I should consume. So Adila, the TDEE times 0.2. You know what? So Adila, I was just going by the my TDEE period, not the one for weight loss. Not the one for weight loss. So whichever one you're going for. So if you're doing the 0.2, because you're saying, hey, I want to lose some weight. So if I can't remember what your TDEE was for weight loss, then use that number, yes, and multiply it by 20 to 35%. Is whatever the calories are that you're consuming for the day. So 20 to 35% of your daily calories should go towards fat. Okay. I hope that helps. Did that help? Hope so. Let's see. Yep, cool. All right. So next, we have to understand that fat is needed. Fat is needed. It helps us grow. Think about babies. They are fat because they need it for growth. It helps us to absorb our vitamins. That is what's helping us process that. That's what gives you that healthy skin, that collagen, that fat. Gives you the healthy skin, helps to regulate those body functions. That's why when people get sick and they start losing all of the fat, our muscles, their bodies will start shutting down. It helps us to store our energy. So just like bears, that's where our fat is stored for energy. It helps protect those organs. And we know that it can be some cushion and it provides warmth. And I will tell you, I know someone whose life was saved and just their mobility was saved just from having a little extra cushion. She was shot in the back, and because she was she had a little extra fat on her back, that's what actually saved her spine. I don't know, you said, can you write the formula? Yes. So what we're doing is the formula was your TDEE multiplied by 20%. That's the base number, lowest fat from calories. I mean, calories from fat. So when I'm typing in the comments that TDE times 20%, that's the lowest calories from fat, because the range was for 20 to 35. So you would do the same thing, multiply the TDE by 0.35 to get your highest level. All right. So when they're asking you how many, well, when you're trying to determine how many grams, because when you are logging your food, it's showing how many grams of fat are in there and not the calories, right? So we know that 9 calories there are 9 calories per gram of fat, right? So whatever that number is, so whatever you get for that TDE times 0.20, that number is what you will divide by 9 to get how many grams of fat you should consume. All right, let me see. Then lowest. I'm only typing lowest, and I guess we should say lowest, highest, so you know to do both. Then you divide that. Where is the divided by? Divided by 9 equals total grams. All right. Okay. So let's talk about the fats, though. All fats are not created equal. There are such things as good fats and bad fats. So our body needs the good fats, so those unsaturated fats, the polyunsaturated, monounsaturated. We talked about bad fats, of course, are saturated and trans. The main differences are those fats, saturated fats are the ones that at room temperature, they're solid. They're solid. They're just hard. And your body, they turn into sludge going through your body. The good fats are the ones that at room temperature, they can be liquid, they can be worn within the liquid, they're easy to transfer through your body, right? So what are examples of some good fats? Coconut oil. I love me some coconut oil. Walnuts, almonds, your nut butter, salmon, Miss Glendora, extra virgin olive oil, or as we call it, EVOO, dark chocolate, and avocado. Those are all sources of good fats. So that's the other thing. Because all fats are not created equal, do not assume that when you are logging your foods, that when you see the fat, oh, did I include that on there? There we go. Yeah, I did talk about it. Saturated fat should be 10% a day. There we go. Okay, I just want to make sure that you remember that all fats are not created the same. So we're just talking about total fats should be 20 to 35%. But when it comes to the saturated, the bad fats, you want to keep that at less than 10%. All right. Now, folks are scared of fats, but folks are definitely also scared of carbs. Carbs are your friends. Say it with me. Somebody type that in the comments. Carbs are your friends. People, don't run away from carbs. Don't do it. Don't do it. Now, how much should you have? There we go. Thank you, Adela. You should have 45 to 65% of your daily calorie intake should be carbs. Did that just freak somebody out? Like, what? Now, I'll tell you, when I Because there have been times when I've specifically made meal plans. Like if you all have seen the sample meal plans for the 4-week program, those I like to do a balance of, I take it down to like 34, like somewhere around the 34, 35, but it's a healthy range, 45 to 65. And again, we'll do the same calculations as you would for the fat to determine how many grams you need. But this time we know that there are 4 calories per gram of carb. All right. And there is a difference between complex carbs versus simple carbs. We're going to talk about those too. So what do we need carbs for? Why do we need carbs? Carbs give you a source of energy. We need that energy. It helps to aid in your digestion of your food. It helps you to feel full longer. Y'all know how when you eat those carbs, you feel like you're bloated, but it's not just that, especially with those complex carbs, have the extra fiber in them. That helps to keep your blood cholesterol in check. And then, of course, it is a fuel for your brain, your kidneys, your heart, and your central nervous system. So you should not run away from carbs. All right. Now I'm looking at the time. Oh, I'm going to have to rush through. I told y'all I got a bad habit of adding too much stuff. But we are about to have some fun and do. See the calculator up here? We're about to play a little game. You have your sugar showdown. Bam. We have our sugar showdown. So what we are going to do, if you notice, and I'm sure you all did because you all are highly observant, very, very, very smart women. There's a little circle in the bottom left of each picture. So what I want you to do, I want you to pick your favorite dessert, your favorite treat from here. Type it in the comments what your favorite is. Which one, if you were looking at this, which one would you typically go for first? Ice cream, cheesecake. Cool, cool, cool. Ice cream, okay. All right, ice cream. Yeah, ice cream lovers, really? Miss Eleanor, I'm with you. I'm going with the cheesecake. Pound cake. Come on, Shonda. Shonda said, y'all better stop playing. We're going that southern route. All right. So this is the thing. What I want you to do, if you look down at the bottom, it says 1 sugar cube equals 4 grams of sugar. All right. And I was going to put the little sugar cube graphics next to it. I was like, no, let's play around with it, right? So since Miss Eleanor and I have chosen cheesecake, for all of the ones that you choose, we're looking specifically at the carbs on here. Okay. All right. So for the cheesecake, there are 31 grams of carbs in this slice of cheesecake. Okay. So for whatever you have there for your carbs, I want you to divide that by 4. So 31, Miss Eleanor, I'm doing the homework for once. Divided by 4 is 7.75. So basically 8 sugar cubes. So for our ice cream lovers, 15 divided by 4, and this is just for 1 scoop. So what you see for the ice cream is just 1 scoop of vanilla ice cream. Divide that by 4, you're looking at it about 4, which doesn't sound bad. And the pound cake, 34 divided by 4, you're looking at 8.5, 9. What this means is that when you're eating these, it's the equivalency of just sitting there and eating 4 sugar cubes. Just throwing 4 sugar cubes in your mouth. Throwing 9 sugar cubes in your mouth. And for us, Miss Eleanor, we're just eating 8 sugar cubes. Would you do that? Would you do that? How does that make you feel? Yes, Idler says frozen yogurt is a great substitute. Yes. Right. Miss Glendora is like, no, exactly. That's what we're doing. And so that's what said, all carbs are not the same. When we are using sugar to bake these sweets, that's a refined carb. That's a simple carb. Whenever you see refined, that means that all of the nutrients have been stripped from it. Those are just empty calories. Those are the things that will give you the sugar high, and then you get a crash. That's what that is. All right. So let's talk about sources. Because obviously there's no substitute for pound cake. We say you're just gonna have to suck it up and just take that doggone those those sugar cubes. Ms. Glendora said that's what my doctor did to show me my sugar intake when I was drinking Coke to Dr. Pepper. Yes, it is eye-opening. It is eye-opening. Okay, because these sugar cubes are basically 1 teaspoon. So just imagine standing there and getting a teaspoon, 8 teaspoons, and just throwing them there. And that was just from that 1 slice. All right. So some sources of good carbs. Like I said, carbs are good. A lot of people think about carbs and they only think about sugars, but they forget it includes fibers, starches, and you can find them in different places. And remember, we need them for energy, right? We need them to fuel our brains and all of that stuff. So, and our whole grains. I just did a discussion about pasta the other day. It's not a bad thing. Different fruits are great sources of carbs. Your starchy vegetables, like your let's see, sweet potatoes. Oh, one of my favorites. Yes, Ms. Iris said sweet potato pie is also on the list. And we saw with that sweet potato pie. Ooh, child, just go and sit there with the bag. Sit there with the bag of sugar. But our legumes and our milk products actually have good sources of carbs as well. All right, so we've talked about fat, we've talked about carbs, and now we're on to, and I purposely left this one out to be last because when it comes to weight loss, most people think about protein first. Say, oh, I need protein, I need protein, I need protein. And that's, again, one of the biggest questions, like how much protein do I need for weight loss and how much do I need to build muscle? On average, you would need about 0.73 to 1 gram per your pound per day, right? And that's just on average. And that's for the average person. So if you were an athlete, it would go up to like, if you were like highly active, it would go up to like 1 to 1.5 grams. So let's do some calculations again. You see the calculator? I told y'all. I'm sorry if I didn't tell y'all ahead of time. And we're going to be doing math. But you take your weight. So again, my 137, multiply that by 0.73, which means my lowest range is 100, and then to 1. So that's 1 to 137, because you know what that 1 is up to whatever your weight is, right? So I said, and that's what I said, these are for real talk. I'm gonna be real. They say these numbers, these are guesstimations. You see, it can change. It's there's science behind it, but you can find there's generally accepted formulas, but it really does just vary and depend on your whole body overall. These are just the generic formulas on that. Okay. As Ellen says, I have to eat a high fiber diet. Me too. All right. So let's do some more calculations because we're looking at it should be between 25 to 35% of your daily calories, right? So my 18, if I multiply that, because that was the total number of calories I'm supposed to consume, if I multiply that by the 25%, says 454 calories, right? And then if I divide that by 4, yep, that's around there, 113. So the formula for that, and I said, so honestly, number 1 and number 2 will both give you around the same answer. The easiest way to do it is just to multiply by 0.73. That's your lowest number of protein you should have. And then the 1 is your weight, just your weight. Those are how many grams you should have of protein. The 25 to 35%, that's when you got to do extra steps because I just had to multiply the 25% by my TDEE and then divide that by 4 because 4 calories per gram of protein. So the easiest way is to just do the top one. But you'll see that either way you do it, both of them should be the same. or at least around the same, right? So why is protein so good for you? We know people love it when it comes to weight loss. Why is it good? One, it helps you to feel full a little longer, right? It helps preserve that lean body mass. That's what we're talking about, because the reason why it helps you, I guess they go together. The reason why it helps you to preserve that lean body mass is because it increases the thermic effect of food. What is thermic effect of food? That means because it is not as easy, I'm saying, to digest, it requires your body to work harder to burn it. It requires your body to work harder to burn it. So that's what's increasing the thermic effect of food. And because it does that, it's also hard to store as fat. So that's why a lot of people who are into bodybuilding and things like that, they're constantly eating lean proteins, because the body has a hard time storing it as fat, and it's forcing their body to work harder to digest it and to burn it off. Let me know if that makes sense. Now, I want y'all running to just eat protein. Don't do that, because we're talking now about how we need all of them to work together. Awesome. Drinks of water I'm drinking. Cool, cool, cool. All right. So what are some good sources of protein? I'm sure you all can guess this. Protein is talked about so much, and people feel like everything is great when it comes to protein. But for the most part, yeah. Meats, that's your chicken and your poultry, your poultry, your red meats, of course, sparingly, because red meats are pretty doggone hard for our bodies to digest. Fish, turn your head, Miss Glendora, but yes, we talk about fish. Eggs, dairy, and your legume. Those are all great sources of protein. All right. So what questions do you have about that before we move on to talking about our body? And you want to tell me, I keep turning off my camera because I want to make sure I'm not covering the screen. Let me know where you see me when I do bring up my camera, because I don't want to keep bouncing off and on. You're like, you asked this 2.5 hours in. But I just want to make sure that I'm not bouncing. Okay. Makes sense at the top and you got, oh, cool. Okay. Yay. I just want to make sure. Okay. So it depends on your view. Okay, great. All right. I just want, because I'm on my screen, whenever I turn my camera on, sometimes it could block my screen, and I just want to make sure it's not blocking yours. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, great. So any questions about anything we just discussed? I knew I was throwing a lot of formulas at you. And like I said, I apologize for all the math, but we're done with math. We are done with math. We're done. Oh, and before we go on to the body, I do want to have a conversation about the Healthy Habits Tracker. So you'll see that when you print this out, I left the month blank, because I don't believe in starting in January. I don't believe it just being a 12-month thing or a 1-month thing. We're not just going to do this for the month of November, since November starts tomorrow. No, we're not. This is intentionally left blank for you to print as many as you need, because I want you to continue. Again, it's about healthy habits. So you'll see I put a mantra on here that I want you to say every day. And I want you to put this tracker somewhere there where you can see it. So every day when you fill in these blocks, you're telling yourself, I'm getting stronger and healthier every day. Everything on here is for you to get stronger and for you to get healthier. And not just with the body, as we're about to discuss. Not just with the body, but also here. That's why I included reading, meditation. When I put that on there, that's just sitting. Sometimes you just have to be still to collect yourself. All right. Drinking your water. And that's one thing I want you to put on here. What your water goal is. What are your water intake goals every day? Your goal should be half your weight in ounces. So if you're 200 pounds, you should be drinking 100 ounces. And then I want you to be intentional about how many hours a night you are going to sleep. Folks underestimate the importance of sleep, and I don't want you to do that. Like I said, not only are you burning calories when you sleep, sleep is needed. Sleep helps to reset your body. Sleep helps you to not eat crazy the next day. That helps with your mood, all of that good stuff. We need sleep, all right? And then, you see, I didn't put the weight as a goal, just tracking. So at the beginning, the first day of the month, how much did you weigh, right? And then at the end of the month, how much did you weigh? That's it. That's it. Don't weigh yourself all the time every day. And you honestly, that's optional. I just did that because I know a lot of people still like to look at that. But I want you to move. Not every day. Well, not exercise every day, but I want you to do some type of movement. Drink your water, sleep, log your meals and your drinks. See if drinks was on there too. Read and meditate. All right. Should I have 3 books I'm reading right now on my desk? All right. We good? If we ready to talk about how we're going to reset our body, somebody type body in the comments. I'm loving it. It's crazy because 3 hours sounds like a long time, but I feel like it's going by so fast because it's still so much. I think I'm going to get through these. I'm going to get through them. We are not going to go over. We are not going to go over. So let's talk about this body, resetting our body. So let's talk about weight loss just as in general. Weight loss explained. I said it earlier and we've talked about it many times before. 1 pound equals 3,500 calories. Period. There's no way around it. That's what it is. So in order to lose weight, you either need to cut your calories or you need to increase your activity or a combination of both. Okay, you cannot keep doing what you're doing and expect to lose weight. You can't expect to stay the same level of active and still eat the same things you're eating and expect weight loss. It's just not going to happen. Not going to happen. Okay, you have to change something. Either going to decrease calories, increase activity, or a little bit of both. All right. So I say this also all the time. Muscle burns more fat. Why? Because it is more metabolically active than fat. What does that mean? That means it forces your body to be more active, to fuel those muscles. It forces your body to be more active, to keep running than fat. So the more active we are, remember, calories are just measurements of energy and heat, right? So the more energy you exert, the more calories you're going to burn, the more fat you're going to burn. All right. And that is why in all of these programs, strength training is included. Strength training is required. Because you hear about that afterburn. Let me know if you've ever heard about the afterburn. If you've ever heard about an afterburn, type yes in the comments. The afterburn, the technical term for the afterburn is EPOC, excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. What that means is that when you're building muscle, we've talked about this before, I believe. Cardio is really good for burning calories in the moment, right? But when you're done, you're done. That's all the calories you're going to burn. However, when you are building those muscles, when you're doing strength training, the recovery process in itself is forcing your body to work. And the bigger those muscles are, the more you're using those bigger muscles, the more your body has to work to recover itself. So that is the afterburn because it takes energy. Like I said, muscle is more metabolically active than fat. It takes energy for your body to repair and build those muscles. So while you may have burned a lot of calories in that 30 to 45 minutes of cardio, your body is going to be repairing your muscles and burning calories for 24 to 48 hours after a strength training session. So after you've done those squats, after you've done those push-ups, wall push-ups, after you've done those glute bridges, after you've done those shoulder presses, your body is going to be burning calories for 24 to 48 hours after that. Does that make sense? Isn't that more intriguing than burning calories in 30 to 45 minutes? It's so much. It's, to me, I'm like, oh yeah, because at that time, your body is burning calories as it's resting because it's repairing itself. All right. So let's talk about the simple ways that we can cut a few calories here and there. Okay. So, as I said, to lose weight, you either need to cut calories or increase your activity level, or a little bit of both, right? So you can do a few things. You can use 1 less tablespoon of creamer in your coffee. We talked about how coffee creamers those additives are an issue. That could be a good 20 to 30 calories depending on what type of coffee creamer you use. If you just drank a cup of almond milk versus 2% milk, you could save 70 calories just from that alone, right? Just making that small switch. If you decided to not have cheese on your sandwich, you could save 70 calories that quick. If you decided that you were just going to use the recommended 2 tablespoons of salad dressing, you all brought up that salad dressing earlier, so way to be on it, as opposed to the 1/4 cup, because that's probably what a lot of folks are using. They're just drenching, pour, you could save 110 calories. This could easily just be your morning and lunch changes. That quickly, you've saved 270 calories from what you've typically done. We're not talking about the rest of the snacks for the day. We're not talking about the changes you're making for your dinner, but you could easily save 270 calories. And for a lot of you, when you looked at your TEE and then calculated how much you're supposed to pull back to be able to lose weight, it's right there. So tell me some of the things that when you think about how you could cut calories, what are some things that you would think about doing or that you want to implement? When you think about how you typically eat or go about your day, even with your consumption of drinks and things like that, tell me in the comments what you are going to commit to cutting back on. There we go. We're going to commit to it. And I'm going to drink me some water while I wait on these answers. Oh, y'all thinking hard? It's quiet. Cheese and salad dressing. Let's see. Cutting out that fighting my sleep late night snack. Yes. So tell me what you would typically have as a late night snack and how many calories you think you're going to save. Miss Eleanor says smaller portions. Yes. Dr. Pepper. That Dr. Pepper. Isn't that such a unique flavor though? Ooh, I can't remember the last time I had a Dr. Pepper, but I know when I was younger, oh my gosh, they would just make me so happy. So happy. But yes, so removing that Dr. Pepper, even if it's just decreasing 1 a day, because some people do drink multiple a day, you could easily be removing 160 calories just that quickly, just from one thing. Reduce your blue cheese dressing. And yes, Miss Julia, Cecilia, candy, chocolate, baked goods, about 200, 300 calories. Right. And then going back to sleep on it, not even giving your body a chance to move, to burn it. Great. Slow roll with popcorn, Miss Ali. I love popcorn, but I control it by making my own. I don't do microwave anymore. I make it on the stove to control how much I'm putting in there. But those are all great things, y'all. Good. Now I would say we can also increase our activity, right? Ms. Glendora says, I now use portions that are recommended on the food labels. Awesome. And it's always shocking too, right? You're like, that's all I can get. Some of them are really good. Where I'm like, oh shoot, I can get this much. But then some of them I'm like, really? Dang it. Now I got to multiply by 1.5 or by 2 because I know I'm not going to eat that certain size. It is the truth. Now the truth. All right. So what are some activities that we can increase, right? We can walk versus driving. So if I took a 45-minute walk as opposed to driving for those, 10 minutes or 5 minutes, whatever, I can burn an extra 152 calories. If I took the stairs instead of the elevator, like say for instance, I'm busy throughout the day and I end up going up and down the stairs for a total of 10 minutes, that's an extra 82 calories, right? And then if I said, you know what, I'm going to play with my kids for 30 minutes as opposed to laying around watching TV, I'm going to burn 77 calories just from playing, throwing the ball around with my kids. So from those small activities, I've burned an extra 312 calories. Remember, before that, we saved 270 calories. So now we're already up to 500 or 600 calories, and we just with small changes. With small changes. That's not us changing our caloric intake. That's not even the TDE. That's just making small changes. So what changes? What are some things that you're going to change to get some more movement in your life? More movement. That's what I say. It's not necessarily about exercise per se. It's about movement. And honestly, and I'll let you all type your answer as I'm going through this. This is the thing. I'll let you answer. I want to ask you another question. I get excited about questions. Let's see. Oh, Ms. Iris said instead of 4 single creamers with my coffee, using 2, cutting it in half. That's awesome. Shonda said bike ride. Yes. Oh, okay. Ms. Iris said I don't drive anyway. I'll walk more. Yes. Ms. Glendora said use my glider when watch TV rather than just sitting. I love that. Sneak in a workout. I'm telling you, it's awesome because that'll make you actually work out a little bit longer too, especially if you get caught up in the show. You're like, it's only 18 more minutes in the show. I might as well keep on walking, so yes. Yes, Adila says stretching when waiting. Yes. Start by walking my 2 miles every other day. I love it. Let's drink some water, y'all. So quick question. When it comes to reaching your weight loss goals, right? We said there are 2 options, cutting your calories or increasing activity. Which one do you honestly think is easier for you, more realistic for you, to cut back on your calories or to increase your activity? I'm curious. So I'm gonna say both. Okay. I would say cut back calories, both cutting calories, increase activity. Good. Thank you all for being honest with that. So, and most people will say, you know what? This is what I found with the answers. It depends on your lifestyle, right? You say, you know what? I'm already busy. I don't have an extra 45 minutes to walk. I don't have the extra 10 to 15 minutes to go up and down the stairs. But it's easier for me to just put the cookies and cakes away. That doesn't take time. That's a quick decision. Boom. I save calories. Then some people say, you know what? I like what I like and I have the time. So may not change what I'm eating too much, but I'll just increase my activity level a little bit more to make sure I reach my goal. So that's interesting. Is that how you all, let me know if that's how you made your decisions. Ms. Ali said, both, even just to bust an exercise move during the commercials and watch TV. Come on, Miss Ali. That's what I tell people. Look here, if you watch TV, but now personally, I love commercials. I told you I was a marketing major, so commercials are my jam. Even though I do get annoyed with them doing some of my shows. I'm like, come on, I just want to get back to my show. But that's always a good thing to sneak in some squats, some push-ups, some tricep dips, some ab exercises, and do them as long as each commercial. That's how you sneak your workout in. So you can sit on the couch and enjoy your show, But for one commercial, because most commercials are what, 15 to 30 seconds. So do squats doing one commercial. When the commercial switches, switch and do push-ups. When the commercial switches, then do some ab exercise, some leg drops. And then when the commercial switches, do some tricep dips. You can sneak in your workout, that activity level. So I would say, yeah, that's why it's easier for her to just switch what she's eating, because she's busy. She may not have an extra 45 minutes, but she can decide what she's going to eat. Ms. Glendora said the same thing. She said, look here, I'm just going, because I believe Ms. Glendora said she just going to increase that activity because she likes what she likes. All right. Ms. Ira says, doing a workout is an activity for me. I wasn't doing any exercise before. Come on, I love it. So that's the thing. You just have to be honest about what's working for you, which one you can do, but just know that there are options and that a change has to be made. The change has to be made if you are looking to lose that weight. So the question is, are you ready to reset, right? Are we ready to reset? If you feel like you're ready to reset, type reset in the comments. There we go. And I tell you, this is just a repeat of the conversation got started this morning. So this is just an opportunity for me to go back through, because I brought this up because I want to tell you again about the coaching program that I feel all of you will be great for transitioning into. So we just talked about what's best for you. You all answered those questions based on what was best for you. You're short on time, let's change how you eat. You like what you like, and you got time, let's add more activity. And with this coaching program, you get a lot of stuff. Again, you get 15% off everything. So that's the shirts, the hats, the hoodies that Miss Glendora was rocking this morning, the books, and even the programs. So everything else that's coming up, you would get 15% off on. But you also get access to the video library. So the hundreds of videos, and there are a gang of different types of videos. We have low impact for people. Anybody want to go back to the gym? You have gym workouts, but the videos come in different lengths. You can get full length videos. We have sets actually. So there's a 5-day fat burn, a gang of demos, circuit videos, and targeted muscle groups too. And you become a VIP. So whenever there are quarterly master classes, you automatically get access to them without any payment. Your seat is saved no matter what. That's $97 value. And then the Q&As that you all get, that you've been part of already, you still have access to those. And that's important to know that you still have access to those, because the biggest part of it is that you will get 12 one-hour sessions with me throughout your 90-day program. It is a 90-day program. The commitment is needed because we are not, I told you I don't do get skinny quick programs. This program is all about focusing on working on your habits so that you can be healthier. This is not a straight up weight loss program. This is a healthy habits program. It's feel, heal, gain for a reason. And I don't know with some other coaching classes, I don't know if I've ever truly explained that, but it's called Feel, Heal, Gain, because we're going to start by talking about what you're feeling inside of you. That's why today we started with the mind. What you're feeling inside that got you to where you are now. The issues that the relationship you have with food is based on something you're feeling up in here. And for you to come to me, that means you want to make changes. So we're not saying that it's wrong or not, but you know that you want to make changes. So let's talk about what you're feeling so that we can move forward and heal that, so that you can start gaining the confidence, gaining that that spirit again. So that's where the feel, heal, gain comes from. So every week we have 1-hour sessions where it's just about you, what you have going for the week, what your goals are for the week, how I can assist you for the week. We create a plan together. I add it to your calendar, so you have it right there. I send you text messages, and it's not just about your workouts. You may say, you know what, Crystal, I need reminders to eat, because a lot of you said I only eat twice a week. I mean, twice a day. Oh, don't eat twice a week. You say I only eat twice a day. So I'll send you reminders like, hey, did you eat lunch yet? If not, stop. Eat lunch. Say, Crystal, I've been real stressed. I need reminders about stretching. Stop. I'll send you a text. Take a deep breath. Stretch. Crystal, I need to move more through the day. You'll get a text. Time for you to get on up, march in place. Crystal, I do really well with drinking my water in the morning, but by the evenings, I'm slacking. You're going to get some texts in the afternoon and the evenings to drink you some doggone water. Crystal, I'm pretty good about working out, but sometimes I forget. Send me a text in the afternoon to remind me. You'll get those too. And I ask you all about MyFitnessPal, because if you're on MyFitnessPal, I even add you as a friend, and I can go through and look at your food log, and then we talk about how to modify it if modifications are needed, right? This is customized for you. So you get 12 of those sessions. That's a value at $960. And we did talk about the price earlier today, but let's just keep on going. So when you add it all up together, it's a total of $1,417. So you get 15% off the store, you get access to the library, you get the quarterly masterclass entries, you get our weekly group sessions, and you get your weekly own one-on-ones. So again, even though the value is at $1,417, the total investment that you make is only $741, which is a total savings of $676, which is 48% off. And like I said, there are payment options available, and it breaks down to what you're currently paying now if you're in the 4-week program. There's $247 for this program, so it's the same thing per month, but you get the one-on-one with me, and it's customized just for you. All right. And when you're ready, actually, and I'll put this in the comments. Let's just say it's interesting because it's saving time, because all of you should have gotten emails recently about the what's next conversation. So we got to do this together as a group to talk about the coaching program. And this is the thing, most of you are ending sometime next week, within the next 7 to 10 days. It's perfect timing, because I prefer that you start the coaching program no more than a day or two after the 4-week program ends, so that we don't lose the momentum. And your first day starts on our first meeting day. So it's not the date that you pay. You pay today. We can pick what day that you'll get started, because you will need time to do your intake questionnaire and then get on the calendar so that we can get started. All right. So what questions do you have for me? And actually, let me go ahead and stop sharing so that we can chit chat. What questions? No questions. Oh, I said I was going to put the email address, not email address, the address to join in the comments. Boop, boop. There we go. So what questions do you have about anything, not just the coaching program? What resets are we taking away this? Wait, yes, Illinois, yes, there will be a replay. You all will get this. Mm-hmm. Biggest takeaways. And I made it in less than 3 hours. I was concerned. I was concerned. Oh, you feel free to unmute. Feel free to unmute. You don't have to type it in the comments.
My biggest takeaway is looking at the calories that I should be intaking.
Typing. That's why I was talking to you. Like you can just unmute. Okay, I see Ms. Eleanor unmuted. Come on, hit me with your takeaway.
My biggest takeaway is the calories that I should be intaking to lose weight instead of what my old nutritionist was telling me, because I would have starved to death. I never met 1,200 guys. That's too.
You saw my face when you said 1,200. I was like,
look,
what?
I'm a foodie. I like food, and I like different food from different cultures and stuff, so that wasn't going to work. I'm a foodie.
And that's
Vietnamese, I'll eat it. Only thing I don't eat is Thai, because for some reason I don't agree with my stomach. But I'll eat Vietnamese, Asian, Japanese, Chinese, all that, Colombian, Cuban, all that. I'm a foodie, you know, because I have friends from different cultures and stuff, and we eat.
Yeah, and the thing is that it's not even about that. You can still enjoy that, but 1,200 calories just does not. I'm concerned because that does not give your body enough energy to get through the day. Right? That's, to me, that's one of those restricted things. Like it's almost like you're trying to make weight like you're a boxer or something, you know, like you have to be a specific. Like when I left for the Army, I had to be 135, and that was rough for me because like I only had to lose 3 pounds or something like that, but that's hard to lose when, you know, it's like, okay, what am I going to change? You know, but to take you down to 1,200 calories, that was crazy.
I looked because of my body shape. When I was 135 pounds, I still saw myself as being small, because I'm one of the ones with the TNA, and being that small, that's pronounced. So I'm just like, if I could fit in the clothes that I bought 10 years ago, I'm good. I don't care how much I weigh. I'm good.
Seriously, how tall are you?
5'5".
Yeah, so we about the same. That was the thing. Like,
but you have to look at the bone structure of person too. Everybody's bone structure is different.
Because I do feel that 137, I do feel small.
Some people
That's
have
why I told you I got on the scale hoping I was 140. I was like, am I gaining weight?
When I was at 155, I felt fine. I felt comfortable in my weight. Because when I got married, I was 112 pounds. Can you imagine how?
Really?
Yeah, I actually lost 13 pounds in like a 2-week span, just getting ready for a wedding, because I was 125 pounds.
Wow.
So that was a lot of stress, but that's no, I at 155, that's where I'm comfortable at.
Okay.
So that's my goal, you know, but my goal is to just fit in the clothes that I have, that I don't want to give away, because they my pride and joy. I pick my clothes out like I pick out diamonds. See,
I'm not a big fan, but I feel you though. I like it though. And you know what? I forgot to tell you, if you all decide, because you all have a week to decide if we're moving forward. I thought Miss Glendora was bringing food. Y'all see, I paused like, what food is it's a doggone shame. People like, you really like food? I do like food. That's a shame. But I tell you what, if you all come in by tomorrow, I'll give y'all an extra month on the video library too. Extra month on that. Ms. Glendora, what are you about to say? You about to show us something in that book, huh? Oh, you're muted. Uh-oh, you're still muted. Let's see.
No, I'm actually going through the registration for moving forward.
And okay, awesome.
It asked me, and I don't know my salary, my retirement salary off by heart.
So okay, gotcha. Oh, you're using the payment plan. Awesome.
Yeah, but I'm moving forward.
Yay! Can't wait to have you.
Yes.
And Adela says she took her, don't let your pause become a period. Look here. And that is a serious question you have to ask yourself. Like, okay, is this a break or am I done? And we're not done. Just keep moving. Keep moving. And I do want you all to use those screensavers for your phone. We need those reminders. We need those reminders. I know I had Grace on mine for the longest. Like, be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Yes. Any other questions, takeaways? Let's have a drink together. It is Saturday, right? Y'all know y'all gonna have some more drinks later. Ms. Glendora was the first one. Drinks. Like, ooh.
But I don't even do alcohol.
Absolutely no judgment on my part. Well, I have enjoyed you all so much. This 3 hours went by so fast. I hope it sort of went fast for you all. Am I the only one who felt like it went by a little fast? Okay. I enjoyed you all. You all are always fun. I was frustrated because since I was sharing my screen, I couldn't see your videos. I'm like, I want to see them. But I enjoy you all so much. I look so forward to working with you, Ms. Glendora, as we move on. Like I said, and it'll start whenever you pick your date, our first consultation date.
Okay.
And Adila will tell you, I'm just gonna warn you now, that first consultation meeting is different. Am I telling the truth? Is that a good warning?
Yeah, it's different. I wasn't expecting it. It was it goes over a lot.
It can be a little intense.
Mm.
Okay.
Is that a good word? Like,
Yeah.
I'm still bubbly, but it's more down to business. That first one.
Mm.
Yeah. Because I need to get to know you.
Understand.
And there are a lot of questions. I'm just going to tell you now. It's a lot of questions.
Whatever can help me to get through the process to become healthier, I'm willing to do it, and I'm willing to say or tell all.
I love it. We get to know each other pretty well over that time. I would say.
Yeah, this was a lot of good information we got today.
Thank you. I had to stop myself. Yeah, I know I could go another hour. I'm not going to. It's time to eat. It's time to eat. We talked about eating more frequently, and none of us, well, I haven't eaten in 3 hours. I know Miss Ollie was eating. Miss Ollie don't play with her food. Does not play with her food. I love you for it. So if there are no other questions for me, thank you all. And I know I said it before, but I truly hope that I've earned the privilege of your time today, because you all have given me 4 hours today for the most part. 4.5 if you came in the kitchen. A couple of you were there too. So I appreciate you all so much. You all know that if you need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out to let me know. I look forward to moving forward with Miss Glendora and everybody else anybody else who wants to come on the board. Let's see what magic we can make. I tell you, I'm looking forward to it. So I will see you all next Saturday for sure. But if you need anything, let me know.
Okay.
All right. You all have a good weekend. Be safe.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Good weekend, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Stay safe.